We are going to answer this question before us, which is asking us to evaluate the exact values for the following, and we'll be giving cos of negative 14 pi on 3. As always, there are different ways of answering these questions. I'm just going to show you the way I like best. Whenever I'm dealing with cos of a negative angle, I know just based on my symmetry properties that I can just ignore that negative. I can just consider cos of 14 pi on 3. I think that's a real time saver. Okay, once we're there, we're going to break up this angle. So what can I break this angle up into? Now, this is one of those situations where we can't break it up into anything that nice. So just break it up into something that you can. So let's just go 15 pi on 3 minus pi on 3. There are different ways of doing it. You might like to break it up another way, but I'm just going to break it up that way. Now, 15 pi on 3 is the same as 5 pi minus pi on 3. Okay, which quadrant am I in if I have 5 pi minus pi on 3? Well, the way that you can think about it is if you're ever given an odd number in front of your pi here, that always means, if we draw this out like this, it always means that we're going to wind up right here at that point right there. Because think about it. What is this point? This is pi or 3 pi or 5 pi. Or 7 pi, because when we think about it, that's 2 pi, that's 3 pi, that's 4 pi, that's 5 pi. Do you see how when you're here, you're always ending up with an odd number? So that means if I'm going 5 pi minus pi on 3, I must be in my second quadrant. Another way you can think about this, and this would take a bit longer to write out, so I wouldn't advise it, but you could say, all right, I've got 5 pi, that's 4 pi plus pi, minus pi on 3. So all I've done is broken up my 5 pi into 4 pi plus pi. And I've done that because now I can say, well, I know that I can ignore this 4 pi. And now I've just got pi minus an angle. And I know that is definitely in my second quadrant. Now, in my second quadrant, if I come over here for a moment, in my second quadrant, is my cos positive or is it negative? Well, in my second quadrant, I know that it is negative. So now I'm going to come over here and continue writing. I'm going to say that this is negative cos of pi on 3. Again, I know it's negative because I'm in my second quadrant. Cos is my x value, so I've got my negative there. So I'm considering negative cos of pi on 3. And this is where you can say, well, I know that cos of pi on 3 is a half. So my answer will be negative a half there. If you're struggling to figure out whether you were negative or positive here, what you would do is you could consider your special triangles. And again, you wouldn't write out your special triangle for every question. It's just you'd have it written down somewhere on your test paper and you could always refer back to it. 2, 1. Adjacent over hypotenuse. So adjacent, hypotenuse, 1/2, and then negative because you got a negative there because you're in your second quadrant. Hopefully that made sense and you feel comfortable with doing this. Again, I'm going through these kind of slowly. You'd want to do this a bit faster in the test itself. Perfect. I'll see you in the next one.